Good day to all. I am A. Malati, internal full-time research scholar from VITBS VIT Vellore. So this presentation is about recent trends in consumer behavior. So what is consumer behavior? So consumer behavior is a study of process which involve when one particular customer or individual or group select particular product and use it or dispose the product, service, idea or experience in order to satisfy their own need, want and desire. So this consumer behavior study helps to identify the potential consumer as well as target the right consumers. This consumer study answer 5W and 1H like what, who, why, how, where and when. So this help the marketer as well as our company to understand about their consumers. So we can see this evolutionary model of behavior shows what these W's and H means. So this shows that what happened in the behavior of the consumer, where it is happening, like the location of happening, when, that is the time point of happening, who performed that particular action, that is the consumer, and this how and why shows that how the behavior happened and why the behavior happened. So these, when understanding these concepts and studying these concepts, a marketer can able to understand their potential customer. The first topic or the concept of consumer behavior first started uh, as a separate field in the marketing in the mid of 1960s. So this study actually borrowed from other disciplines like psychology, sociology, anthropology and economics. And consumer behavior study can be analyzed through two type of approach. By one is positivism and another one is interpretivism, or we can also call it non-positivism. What is that positivism? So actually this is approach which encompasses behavioral, cognitive, situational and the economic aspect of the customer, and it is also referred as the traditional approach. Whereas non-positivism is a new type of approach, or we can say is a postmodern approach. Actually, this encompasses interpretive and postmodern approach. This emerged during the 1980s. So this talked about the history of the consumer behavior research, consumer behavior study over the period of time from 1930s. So some of the study like early empiricist phase, motivation research phase, formative phase, utopian grand theories, information processing phase, and now decision making phase. So after that, a new type of research in consumer behavior emerged, like study anthropological interpretive approach, which study about the consumption and experiential consumption of the consumption behavior of the buyer, and pluralistic research. Actually this began in the 1990s and till 2000. So they study about the customer satisfaction, decision making process, the branding, culture of the consumer, consumer visual consumption. So all these are studied in this period of time. So we can see the difference between the old perspective in consumer behavior research and the new perspective. So old perspective, as we said, it is a positivist approach. So most of the studies are quantitative approach done by experiment and survey. So these are all from the economic and psychological aspect. They focus on buying behavior and also the focus on the cognition of the or cognitive behavior of the consumer. But in the new perspective, most of the studies are done by qualitative method through ethnographic studies, and these are from the aspect of sociological and anthropological, and it focuses on the consumption behavior as well as the emotional aspect of the consumer. You can also say it is a multicultural perspective. So this shows the traditional model and contemporary model of the consumer behavior. Some of the models like economic model, learning model, psychoanalytical model, sociological model in the traditional model. So coming to the contemporary models, Harvard-Shake model, Nicosia stimulus response model, Angel Collat Blackwell model. These are the contemporary models. And this shows about the model of the consumer behavior throughout the purchase of one particular consumer or a customer. So it includes what are the factors or stimulus which influence the consumer during their buying decision process and purchase decision. So we can see that stimulus like marketing and other stimulus, product, price, distribution, economical, technical, political, these aspects or these factors along with their internal factors like motivation, perception, learning and social cultural consumer characteristics. This influence which helps during the buying decision process and also during the purchase decision. So we can see here the development of consumer behavior research over a period of time. So first it's about the behavioral determinism and social cognitive research. This is actually the traditional method of consumer behavior research. Here the research mostly tends to explore the value maximization and time consistence preference. So we can say this is mostly deviate from the classical economic theory. And next is the activist and postmodern consumer research, or we can say it is a modern consumer behavior research. And this mostly focus or explain about the causal relationship between the consumer and the consumer behavior. Actually, and also it particularly focus on the consumer experience, consumer behavior through the subjective analysis of historical analysis, and consumerism in the internet age. So because of the advanced development and the internet, so online consumer concept has emerged during that period of time, and most of the online consumer behavior studies are started, and many scholars have begun to conduct research on behavior, online behavior of a consumer, and even many survey are done using the online method to study about and even the relationship between the business and digital platforms are also studied in this particular period of time. And coming to the present situation, that is in the after pandemic or COVID-19, we can say this is a study of consumer in the post-pandemic era. So there was a lot of changes in the consumer behavior due to this crisis, pandemic crisis. So many consumer opted for online purchase, and most of the shopping are done in online. So we can see what are the some of the changes that made in the consumer behavior at digital world. So major technological aspects like mobile, internet, social media. So these change the consumer behavior and their buying behavior all over the world. So because of this advancement in the internet, so this consumer behavior has also changed, and they are more informed about their product they are going to buy and future price. They can able to compare the price and the quality product of the particular product with their competitive product. They can get the recommendation review of their particular product from others, and these type of information also help them to buy the product. And also people spend more time on the internet, so this influences the behavior toward that particular product and service. So because of more usage of internet and online resources, marketers also started to use consumer data, or we can say that big data, to analyze the consumer behavior so that they can target their exact consumers at particular time and place, so that they can give a personalized product and or benefit service to the customer. And today consumer are the great have great power and control in the marketplace. So why? Because consumers are the main actors in the market, because their participation in internet has also increased. So that have impact in the particular brand and or particular product. And the consumer started to make a decision and also started to select the product through internet. And we can say that the many social media platforms are there, so that they can, many websites are also there, so that they share the information about the product, and which helps them to make a good decision about their product. And another one thing is about the attitude, motivational level, and satisfaction level with the previous online purchase also have impact on their new purchase. So now digital consumer are king. So those consumer are using different communication channels and different delivery channels, and these channels are like their horses. And through their channels and through their medium, so they can having different possible choices to purchase the product or to get the services. They are able to meet, and they are able to they are always connected with many channels like Facebook, LinkedIn, MySpace and Twitter, so that they can share the information among their community. And many industrial experts also says that e-commerce behavior has become very difficult, and also the segmentation of the e-market has also become very difficult because of this digital age. So what happened? How is the behavior of the consumer during the COVID-19? That is during this pandemic year. This pandemic has drastically changed the consumer behavior a lot, because the many of the store purchase has been stopped, and all the purchase has been done through the online medium. And there is also other changes in the behavior of the consumer or customer because of many restrictions made by the government during this period of time. And there was a lot of increase in the digital purchasing of particular goods or services during this period of COVID. So we can see in this chart the changes in the consumer behavior. What are all the changes it has made? What is the percentage of changes it made in the behavior of the consumer during this COVID-19? So most of them are 84%. They mostly engaged in social media to engage with their brand, and most they prefer to have the transaction or have the purchase through online medium. It is about 78%. Even transaction, physical transaction has also changed. Many online payment has also been done during this period instead of ready cash. So all these things, these changes or evolution of the consumer behavior over a period of time says that because of the technological interference, uh, the traditional consumer behavior model has changed, and also pave way for the change in the consumer behavioral theory. Not only change the consumer behavior, and also pave way for many theories, new theories and models in the consumer behavior field. And particularly this COVID-19 has great impact on the consumer behavior. And this COVID-19 also have impact on the consumer behavior and also development of many consumer behavior theories. These are the references.